All right, we're switching to desktop view. Bam, here we are. Here's the list. All right. Here's my usual spiel. I get final say on all of these rankings because it's my list, my stream. Having said that, I will take your opinions into consideration. And at the end of choosing all these rankings, I will put in the rankings itself, we will rank what's better in S tier, better in A tier, etc. So, there. Got that all off my chest.
What's the last movie?
It's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's not the best poster. They should have picked a different poster you can read better. But that was like their original, like theatrical.
I've actually seen a decent amount of these.
Good, good. Okay, we're gonna do these in chronological order. So we're starting with Reservoir Dogs. This is the first Tarantino movie I saw. It is heavily influenced by a film, a Chinese film called City on Fire. It's directed by Ringo Lam. It is a Chow Yun-fat film. The story itself taken whole cloth. But he added so much humor, so much color to it, that to go back and watch City on Fire now, you see that the basic story beats are all there, but it's not the better film. Like, I usually am like, fuck remakes. Sometimes remakes are good, though. And in this case, it's not a remake. It's just heavily inspired by it. Reservoir Dogs put him on the map. And they had very little budget, but he had a good cast. This, for me, I rewatched it a couple of weeks ago. It's been on Showtime lately, and it still holds up today, in spite of some of the dialogue being a little cringy. I'm going to put it as an A for now, although when I'm filling out the rest of this, it might end up in the B.
I absolutely agree. I think it's A tier.
A tier.
I don't think it's S tier. I actually saw Reservoir Dogs at the Music Box in Chicago.
Nice.
That's fucking incredible.
That's cool. You saw it in a theater. Yeah, I saw it on VHS, so I didn't get to see that one in a theater.
I also saw it on VHS.
Anyone else opinions on Reservoir Dogs? It's hard to argue against his first film. It really is, considering the budget that he had. The talent on display is definitely there, and he was... You talk about a debut that got some attention. That did. Not just for the violence, but the dialogue, the editing, the soundtrack. It was very much... It was a topic. Just stop pointing that... Larry, you stop pointing that gun at my dad! Yeah, my friend, Big Red Midget, he likes to quote that all the time. So, we'll leave it as A for now. I think that's probably where it'll end up. Maybe B plus or A minus. We'll see where the rest of these come out. By the way, there's a bunch of ranks in here. I'm used to a lot of these tier makers not having F in there. I'm glad we have F tier. Not that I don't think I'm going to need it, though.
Okay.
Pox says fantastic film, especially with the limitations. Budget limitations, mostly. Jackbox was fun, Robin. You got here late, but the VOD will be up. What were you going to say, Angry?
No, I'm good.
Okay. No, anyone else?
I like that Steve Buscemi line where he's convincing his,
not to tip
your weight, not to tip.
That was quoted for over a decade, like constantly. All right, so and Gart has an opinion on Death Proof. We'll get to that. Yeah, we're going chronological. Okay, Pulp Fiction. You can't go lower than S with Pulp Fiction. You can't.
It's S tier. It's S tier.
It's S tier. We could just move on, but I at least want to say I saw this in a theater 4 times. I took everyone who I knew to the theater to go see it.
I saw it at least 2 times, maybe 3 times. And here's a good story. My sister walked out of it.
Why? Just the violence or the language
that
or
is a great
all of it?
story.
She was on a date, and they were like, they did not appreciate the time jumping.
Oh, the way it plays with the timeline.
I'm hanging out with a friend right now, and she told me that her aunt went and saw Pulp Fiction in theaters, and she also walked out because apparently the movie, quote unquote, ruined her Christmas.
Hey, I saw a couple people walk out too when I saw it, but I was living in Wyoming at the time, and there were a lot of people who went in thinking it was going to be some 50s romp and had no clue what they were watching.
It's got pulp in the title.
Well, hey, so does orange juice. All right, so Pulp Fiction is S tier. I'm trying to make a bad pun because black metal always makes bad puns.
Stay up all night thinking about that one.
No, I didn't.
You can't really stick it in the middle.
No. It's S tier. Anyone who says otherwise is crazy. I'm trying to think of anything else to add to this. I mean,
Is it Tarantino's best role in one of his own films?
he's looking for an excuse to
terrible.
use the N-word,
He's
and we'll
terrible.
leave it at that. Yeah, he is one of the few sore spots I have with the film. He didn't need to be in it. At least in Reservoir Dogs, he's barely in it, and
then he gets killed.
and then he gets killed. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I-
Spoiler alert for a 30-year-old movie,
But
25-year-old movie.
the fact that it takes place at Tarantino's character's house and everything that happens with Mr. Wolf and cleaning up after Marvin's head being shot open, hey, that I like all of
Spoiler
that.
alert.
Just take Tarantino out of it. If you need a spoiler for a film in '94, leave. There's the door. All right, Pulp Fiction's
That's what I just
S.
said
Does
30
anyone
seconds ago.
does anyone else have any other opinions of why this should be less than S? I'm guessing it's going to be quiet right now. Okay. Jackie Brown. This is a tough one. This is a tough one.
Okay.
Go ahead, Angry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You into me? Okay. This
I mean,
film,
you've been talking for 2 minutes, but that's.
it's my stream, goddammit. This
I
film,
understand. You invited me.
this film is. It was a disappointment to me the first time I saw it because following Pulp Fiction is such a tough act to follow. It has improved quite a bit over the years as I've watched it a couple more times. It's been a while since I've seen it though. It's too long. We spend too much time with characters that I don't enjoy spending time with, namely De Niro and Bridget Fonda's characters. And yeah,
So
go ahead.
Okay, so I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I told you the other day that I need to watch it again. I think I know people that like that movie better than Pulp Fiction. They think that it's his best film. I think that it is. I really like how uncomfortable De Niro and Bridget Fonda's characters are in that film. Like,
Yeah,
it,
I hear that.
I need to watch it again, but I think that it probably, as far as like maturity in terms of his films, it's probably up there with Pulp Fiction. And I mean like maturity in just how the characters develop and how the film doesn't use a lot of crazy ass violence to get points across. I don't know. I mean, again, I agree with you. I was in the same page where the first time I saw it, I was like, what the fuck is this? Because
You can't
coming
follow
off
Pulp Fiction. Yeah. It's such a tough act to follow. I will say the relationship between Robert Forster and Pam Grier is very. It feels very genuine, and I really like the two of them in this film.
oh yeah,
They're
And what
fantastic. He got nominated for an Oscar for it.
They're both fantastic in that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not going to go lower than a C. I do agree with Pac, though. Anyone who thinks that's better than Pulp Fiction is insane. I don't know, insane. I would just say a little suspect. A little bit suspect.
It's a choice. That's the kindest thing one can say about it, is that it is a choice.
I think you can make the case. I just don't agree. Anyone else have any strong opinions about Jackie Brown they want to share?
I think it's higher than a C,
Okay, so
especially when we get to the rest of his movies.
so it may. That's the thing. These aren't final. I might move up or down. So right now, that's where I've got it. I can't go lower than a C. I could see it going up a little bit depending on the rest of these, because he's got some films in here that are worse than that. Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, he does.
All right, so Pac thinks it's a B. It has definitely improved over the years, hands down. But I do think it, like a lot of his films, you could trim 15 or 20 minutes out of it, and I wouldn't miss it. Kill Bill Volume 1. Because we were counting these as two separate films. It's a B for me.
I'm inclined to agree. I mean, it's got some great cinematography, and I feel like the whole Crazy 88 thing's about as close to a video game scene that I've seen in a movie, and I'm fairly convinced that Quentin Tarantino doesn't really play video games, but you got to admit that it is very much a masterwork of cinematography, along with its sequel.
Riz? Heavy? Angry?
I think both of those movies are B's. And I really liked them on first viewing, but I don't know. They're okay on repeats.
So Kill Bill Volume 1 for me was knocked down a little bit just because a lot of it was inspired by Lady Snowblood. There's two films that were Japanese like samurai films, but they were a female that was in it, and then the cinematography was there's a thing he does in it that steals completely from another samurai film. It's one thing to borrow or sample, as he likes to do. In this one, Uma Thurman's fantastic. The action in it's really good. A B is still it's still a strong score for me. It's a very good film, but for me, Kill Bill Volume 2 is better, and it's because the way the story wraps everything up and how much heart is in it, that I'm putting it as an A, but I'm tempted to go like a weak S because I love the way he ends the story, how much more personal he gets with the characters. There isn't much personable in the first film. In the second one, the time that you spent pays off with a lot of the characters. And it's violent at the same time. It's a little long, but going back and showing the wedding, showing the way she gets out of the grave, all the Pai Mei training stuff, is hands down better than anything that's in Kill Bill Volume 1, in my opinion. And right down to the ending with the 5-point palm exploding heart technique. It's so well done. And David Carradine, rest in peace. I know the big punchline with you, the way you died. You were in some great films and some great TV shows, and this was a great late role for him. So for me, it's a high A.
After hearing that, I think I am inclined to agree, especially whenever you see The Bride's Daughter.
Yes.
I feel like that was a really heart-stopping moment, no pun intended. So I think you're right. I would give it a high A.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess, high A. I don't think I'd give it an S, but definitely would give it an A for sure.
Gargo's Heart says both are S tier. Second one's better. David Carradine was amazing. Rip. So he has them both as S tier.
No way are they S tier.
If I'm S tiering the second one, it's low end of S tier, but it's more like a high A for me. But it's only because it's a little bit too long. I wouldn't cut a minute out of Pulp Fiction, other than his character. I don't know that you could cut much out of Reservoir Dogs. It's very lean. Kill Bill has some stuff you could cut out a little bit. Kill Bill Volume 1 is lean as well. It's only like 95 minutes. But that's my only knock against Kill Bill Volume 2. I just think it's a better ending to the story than I expected. Because I walked out of Kill Bill Volume 1 a little bit disappointed, even though the action's good. I just, seeing all the films that he took inspiration from, and I was like, it's not as good as some of these films. But in terms of the action.
I had the British quad movie posters hanging in my apartment for both of those movies.
British movie posters are better. The quad setup, I like those better.
I really like both of those. I still have them framed.
So do you agree with where I've got these, or would you move them up a little bit? Would you put Kill Bill on the same level as 1 as in 2? Would you put 1 and 2 together on the same level?
I don't think I kind of was thinking that they would be on the same line, but 2 would be ahead of 1. But I don't think that that's a bad place to have them.
Yeah,
the way you've got them.
Well, it's.
I mean, yeah. I mean, all the stuff you rattled off in 2. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many fantastic scenes, and
her snatching the eye out of Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Was that one? That was 1 or 2?
It's 2.
Was it 2?
In the trailer.
That was 2.
After she got out of the grave.
No, I know the scene. I just don't remember where they're. I honestly can't remember what was in 1 versus 2.
The fight in the trailer happened after she got shot in the chest with the rock salt, and then she got out of the grave.
Oh yeah.
And then Daryl Hannah shows up. Yeah.
God, Michael Madsen's character was such a dirtball.
So scummy, like really well done.
One of my favorite lines in that was I think the line was the manager of the strip club where he's like, "That's about as useless as an asshole right here," pointing to his elbow.
So we're gonna get to Death Proof here. Gart gives that would you say D or E or F tier? So okay, I'm ignoring E. All right, we're going letter grades. S is even a little bit of a
Just delete
stretch.
Can't you just delete it?
Real quick,
Oh wait, that was D. I just deleted. Shit. I can. Cool.
if we go back to Kill Bill, for me, the Kill Bill movies
Thank you.
Are definitely the most rewatchable, in my opinion, of his movies.
Yeah.
And I really love the Superman conversation at the end of 2. That's like the first time I'd ever like thought of that. So that was pretty cool.
They're both really good movies. And watching them
David Carradine,
together,
obviously.
watching them together back to back, it's the best way to do it. So I get why Tarantino wants to consider it one film, but yeah, splitting it up made sense financially, so I get it. They basically double dipped, and it was worth it for them financially. I only brought up Death Proof earlier because you didn't know if anything would rank F tier. Okay, I don't remember saying that, but I'll trust you. But it's ass. You're right, Death Proof's ass. I'm not going F tier, but it's D. And here's the thing. It was almost like an experiment with the Grindhouse double feature, but when the best thing you can say about the Grindhouse double feature is the fake trailers in between the movies, you got problems. It's just not. Hey, look, you got these female stunt persons, freaking awesome, and they're good in the movie, and it's basically one big long car chase. I didn't give a shit.
I'm gonna throw in a controversial opinion. I actually really did like Death Proof. I felt like as part of the Grindhouse experience, I liked Death Proof more than I liked Planet Terror, because there are parts of it that just like didn't mesh well, or that were just obviously put there for shock value.
Yes.
But Death Proof was a very coherently put together movie, and it was one long car chase, which was inspired by Vanishing Point, of course.
And Duel, and yeah.
And right, and you know, the Steve McQueen aesthetic in general.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely really enjoyed that one. You know, and it meshed well with me. So I would personally give it a B.
Oh, you
this
put it
Black
higher.
Metal?
Wow. Yeah, it's Black Metal.
Black Metal?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, I'm more on your page, Black Metal, than I am on Wheeler or Gart. I will admit that it absolutely is not for everybody. Like, it is just not one of those movies that I'd be like, man, you guys should watch this because it was great.
You can't recommend it to everybody.
It has its moments. It's there's a bunch of the crazy ultra violence that he likes to go for, but it also has a really satisfying payoff at the end.
Yeah.
Because Stuntman Mike is a fucking dirtbag.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd put it, honestly. I can't put that above Jackie Brown.
No.
Especially in this ranking. So, but
You would still have it as a C, maybe, and Jackie Brown as a B. Look, Death Proof isn't a terrible movie. Like, I don't agree quite with Gart when he says it's F tier. F tier means it's just a complete failure. I think with what they were trying to accomplish, they accomplished it. I just didn't really find myself enjoying it. It's one of the only films in this list I've only seen once. In fact, it is the only film on this list I've only seen once. So
that's not the same for me, because I have an F tier on this list that we haven't gotten to yet.
Ooh. Okay. This is going to be interesting.
I just wanted to put my 2 cents in really quick.
Yeah.
They are-
Absolutely. Dive in.
I'm with Angry. Those movies aren't for everybody. Planet Terror it's Planet Terror and Death Proof. Those are the name of the two?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, they were. Planet Terror was Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I didn't
That
know
was the
I thought they were
first
both
in the
on
double
here.
feature was Planet Terror.
Okay. So they're definitely not for everybody. I've never seen Jackie Brown, so like rating it higher than that doesn't mean anything to me. That movie's a B or an A. I wouldn't put it S tier at all, but those movies are fucking hilarious, and the payoff is great.
You really enjoyed them.
I did, absolutely. Huge stoner though. Keep that in mind.
You're like, I always have to qualify. So the 70s Grindhouse
The
type
leg
films.
hitting the ground. Oh my god.
The-
The leg hitting the pavement is so fucking good.
The 70s Grindhouse aesthetic, I'm okay with. I thought Hobo with a Shotgun was way better than it should have been. right? That was they made that movie based on a fake trailer that was in between these two films, and it ended up being a pretty decent movie. Rutger Hauer, perfect casting. But I enjoyed Hobo with a Shotgun more than I did Death Proof. And if you're going to talk about that aesthetic, but yeah, I mean, look, as a D, if y'all want to argue that it's a better film than that, I agree. It's not a bad film. It's not poorly made. It's pretty well cast. Low budget. They did what they set out to accomplish something, and they did. So for that, I give it credit. I just have had no desire to rewatch it, which is weird because I've seen all of these at least twice.
Yep.
Anyone else hasn't spoken? Riz, any opinions? Death Proof? Is Riz still here?
I'm here. The only movie that I've seen of his is Pulp Fiction, so that's why I'm
Okay. Well, I won't keep trying to bring you in then, unless you have other opinions that you want to throw in on there. Okay. Inglourious Bastards.
I have a feeling this one's going to be a lot of conversation.
The movie itself, it is.
I'm sad to say that I have not seen. I'm sad to say I've not seen Inglourious Bastards. I need to. The friend I'm hanging out with says it's excellent, and I feel like I've made a huge mistake by not watching it.
I would agree with that. You should see it. I would put it high A tier. I wouldn't put it S tier because it has that fucking asshole in it. The guy that
Brad Pitt?
I don't know if
Yeah, I mean a lot of.
Eli Roth.
In it.
Eli Roth.
Eli Roth.
I mean,
Eli Roth.
The Bear Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah, fortunately he's only in it for a couple scenes. It's low S for me, and that might be rating it a little high. There are so many scenes in this that have stuck with me for so long. And every time I've watched it, it only gets better. And it's long, but it earns its runtime for me because of the sections that are long running. The Americans that are trying to pretend that they're German, and the whole scene in the bar, the tension, the way that tension just ratchets up and up, and then the way they find out that they're not German. Holy fuck. I do this sometimes when I'm ordering something. I hold a number up with my hand. I don't want to spoil it. It's fantastic.
And I have to go and look at this. There is a film, and I can't for the life of me remember the film, Jer, that it was a very similar. This is something I saw way back when I was a kid with my dad, and my dad, told me all about it because I was like 6. But it was a tell that the spy gave away because he used his fork and knife in the wrong hands for being a German or a European. Wow, I'm freaking out, man. Your stream's freaking me out.
I know. I had to do that to fix the. It was blocking. You couldn't see your name on there.
Anyway.
Yeah, so without spoiling it, because there are people here who haven't seen it, Inglourious Bastards is fantastic. It is not meant to be realistic, especially in the ending. If you want a satisfying ending, this has it in spades. But the lead character, Shoshana, seeing the beginning and that first 20 minutes, and by the way, Christoph Waltz deserved every bit of gold he got in that Oscar. And the fact that he got nominated and won again for the next film is kind of unprecedented, that he won back-to-back for 2 films from the same director. That doesn't happen. But we'll get to that one in a minute. He's so good, and he's so creepy, and he's God, a fantastic character on paper, even better as a performance. So I really like this movie so much.
Who's the actress that plays Shoshana?
Oh, she's been in other things too. I'm gonna have to Google her name. She was in that movie called Oxygen. It's on Netflix. It's like she's 90 minutes and she's stuck in this like container.
She's
French.
Was fantastic.
That was a star making type thing for her because she really hadn't been anything else before that. Melanie Laurent, Laurent.
She's in a movie called Now You See Me as well.
Oh, she was in that?
What's that?
Now You See Me? I forgot she was in that.
Yeah, like that magic movie. Yeah.
Well, the on Netflix, it's a pretty good movie. She's trapped in this like pod, and she's trying to get her way out of it. It's a lot better than you'd expect. It's a low budget film, but it's a really good movie. It's called Oxygen. It's on Netflix. Sci-fi movie that came out this year. She's in that. She's fantastic in the movie. She has a lot to do in that film. She has a lot of emotions she's got to show, and then hiding her emotions. That lunch she has with Christoph Waltz's character is just. There's so many scenes in this film that are just cranking up tension. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the ending is balls to the wall fucking crazy, and it makes me smile every time, even though it's so fucking wish fulfillment. We'll get to wish fulfillment in a minute because there's more of that on this list, but it's a low S for me. If people want to argue that it's A or B, I would understand. Anyone who goes lower than a B, I would question them a little bit. I would say you're not a Tarantino fan if you think this is less than a B. So, Angry, you're thinking it's more of an A for you?
Yeah, because I don't think that anything he's done is on that same level of Pulp Fiction. But again, I can't argue with where you want to put it either.
Yeah, low S or high A. Yeah, that's kind of where I think it sits right now.
Yeah, there just needs to be a tier in between S and A. There needs to be an A plus because it's definitely better.
Well, but that's why
better than both Kill Bill movies, but it's absolutely not better than Pulp Fiction.
No.
Well, I mean, but that's why
I'll rank these in order.
Left to right too.
Yeah, left to right. Yep. That's what I'll be doing here.
Yeah, but that puts it on the same level as Pulp Fiction, which seems fucking nutty to me.
Right, but Pulp Fiction's better.
Okay.
That's why that's why it's higher up on the list. So yeah, if there's an A plus, sure, like S minus A plus. I mean, that's now we're just kind of getting into semantics. But if you were to argue nothing else should be S tier on this list except Pulp Fiction, I hear that. I hear that argument. And then in which case I would drop it down here and have it as the high A. But for me right now, it's a low S. Okay, Django Unchained. This is a tough one. This is a really tough one. I like this movie a lot. I've seen it multiple times. It gets better every time I see it. Although, boy, there's like a 15-minute lag in there when they get to the actual plantation that you could have cut a lot of time out of this movie. Go ahead.
I mean, you've made that comment on a lot of these movies already.
Yeah,
that's his thing, man. Yep. He likes to live with those characters in those spaces for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I agree with Angry. Like,
it's fair.
Django Unchained, in my opinion, is like it's definitely one of Quentin Tarantino's top movies for sure.
Wow.
I would definitely give it A tier for sure because
I'm on A tier train as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the scenes from that movie still stick with me.
Oh yeah.
In one, it's a movie that's in various ways unsettling.
Oh yeah.
And
very much.
Yet also, again, it's that payoff in the end though, that was a very
wish fulfillment.
Yeah, like you don't always get that, and it happened in the most Quentin Tarantino way possible.
Yeah.
So it's like, I definitely A tier.
My problem with it is once they actually get to the plantation, I think the pacing slows up until the very last 15 minutes. So I'm okay with him having lags in his films as long as the pacing kind of sticks around. For me, the pacing just slows a bit more once they get there. Having said that, the build up to that plantation is some of the best stuff he's ever done. I'm going to put it as a low A because I think you guys are right. I think it does deserve to be a little bit higher on the list, but I'm putting it, so I'm still putting it behind Kill Bill Volume 2 because that film for me is just a little bit more of a personal film, and I really do like that film a little bit better.
DiCaprio should have won the Oscar just for the bodily harm he suffered in that one scene with the glass.
Well, he got it with the bear.
Much better out of it.
He got it with the bear.
He got made into a meme, and
yeah.
Academy Awards come and go, but memes last forever.
He's right. All right, so I'll leave it as a low A. I think that's a good place to put it. Good film, and it's gotten better with every view, which is true with a lot of the films in this list, except The Hateful Eight. Man,
are we talking about Hateful Eight right now?
We're talking about Hateful Eight right now.
I fucking hated that movie with all of my heart. I hated it.
Yeah,
And you know that I'm
actually-
trying
yeah.
not to use the word hate, and I'm trying to go,
Mhm.
oh, you know, I disliked it. I didn't like that. I hated that movie.
You were hateful about
And
the Hateful Eight.
I will, if I ever have to watch it again, please call me an ambulance because I'm having a stroke. Like, God, I hated it so
Look,
much.
I never saw Hateful Eight, but all I really needed to know about it was that Quentin Tarantino found it necessary to have a whole ass fucking roadshow to have people watch this movie.
So that's great commentary. You haven't seen it and you have an opinion. That's
Yeah,
great. You're an internet
yeah.
commenter.
Hey, now I haven't
I know.
I haven't stated my opinion as fact, but it's
You did.
like
Well, you
Look.
you admitted that you haven't seen it, so everything else
Yeah.
you said after is
null and void.
null and void. No, I'm kidding. I saw the 70 millimeter of it with the long soundtrack intro and outro. I sat and watched all of that. It didn't improve the film, not at all. I didn't hate the film, but I walked out of it going, really? Like it's just
Dude, but
that?
I watched it, and then I saw Netflix had a director's cut of it that was like 4
Yeah.
hours. I'm like,
Extended edition,
what?
yeah.
Who the hell
Mm-mm.
asked for this?
No one. And I've seen it a second time, but I saw it on cable, and it was, uncensored, but it wasn't. Whoa! Notable joke comes in, says Reservoir Dogs is S tier, and thank you for that resub. 2 years now. Thank you so much. I wasn't angry at the film. It sounds like it made you angry.
Reservoir Dogs as S tier.
It is S tier in your world. All right. Hatefully, I disliked it. I didn't hate it. It didn't make me angry like it made Sergeant angry. But when I walked out, I went, "There's probably 15 minutes of good movie in this, and the rest of it could have just." Scoggins is good in it. He's like one of the only good things to say about it, and he's had a bit of a career revival. And if you give Tarantino credit for one thing, he has helped revive careers of quite a few, or helps jumpstart careers of quite a few actors. So I'll always give credit for that. And Scoggins has been in a lot of other things since this. Walter Scoggins is his name. I think it's
Scoggins.
Walter. Yeah. He's been in a lot of things after this because of his performance in this. So his performance in this keeps it from being an F. Everybody else in it, including this cameo at the end of someone that was there the whole time, it's like, get the fuck out of here. What is this, a Shyamalan film? So I don't like Hateful Eight. And
So what does that make it? Does that make it like Hateful 7 and Subpar 1?
I hate even talking about this movie.
yeah, I watched it a second time hoping it would improve it, and it didn't. And that's the only thing I can say about this. Every other movie on this list was better with a second viewing. Except Death Proof, which I've only seen once. But I think if I watch Death Proof, I still would like it more than Hateful Eight. So I'm putting Hateful Eight as a low D. If you have it as an F, I understand. If you have it as higher than a C, I'm gonna question you. It is one of his worst films. In fact, I might even argue that it's his worst, but we've got one left. I don't want to spoil it. Any other opinions on Hateful Eight? Heavy Hand Swings, have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I'm annoyed that it's in the same tier as Death Proof, though.
If I'm annoying you, then things are going well.
Yep.
All right, one last film, and it's his most recent. It's
That's a
called
funny thing
Once
to say.
Upon a Time in Hollywood. Oh, every time I do one of these, he's annoyed by something on my list. The food one we did was great.
I'm just gonna, for me, it's a B or a C. It's not terrible. It's not great. It has some great performances. Yeah,
So you have it as a B or a C.
yeah. I mean, that's where I'm at with it.
Okay. Black Metal? Have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
That would be a no. I have not.
You have not seen it.
I've not seen it.
Anyone else in this
Brenda,
chat?
have you seen it?
Yes, I've seen parts of it.
My friend's seen parts of it. What did you think?
It was a little rough around the edges.
A little rough around the edges.
Fair. Toko, I know you've seen this.
I saw it in the theaters. I enjoyed it, but I probably wouldn't put it higher than a B to be honest. I think it's the least Tarantino style film because I feel like it's chronologically it's in order. I like some of the characters. I like Al Pacino's part. But yeah, probably not higher than a B.
I'm putting it as a C tier behind Jackie Brown. And I think you're all making valid points. There are some moments in the film that are really good. I think the relationship between DiCaprio and Pitt's characters is by far the best part of the film, and how they are. It's almost a little bit like the Wild Bunch, where if anyone's seen the Wild Bunch, it's about cowboys that are realizing that their time is almost up. It's almost like he kind of wanted to do that, but with two Hollywood actors who their time is almost up. Not quite as violent as the Wild Bunch. If you haven't seen The Wild Bunch, go check it out. It's probably Sam Peckinpah's best film. It's a fantastic Western. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has its moments. It's long, as a lot of Tarantino films are, but there's more of this film I would cut out than a lot of his stuff. The ending is funny. It's violent. But it almost feels like it didn't belong. Like Tarantino thought, oh, I've got to shoehorn in some crazy violence and comedic violence at the end. It didn't really feel like it fit in as much as in his other films. It felt more tacked on. I'm fine with the violent endings in a lot of his movies. And this one, it was funny. I think it felt more forced than anything else. And there's some good scenes in it. I watched it a second time. It didn't make it worse. It didn't make it better. It was okay. So I'm putting it kind of as a mid-tier C ranking, but some people defend this. Some people think this is one of his best films. I'm just not feeling it. I think he did a great job of setting the period of 70s Hollywood. That is some of the best stuff in it, and the relationship between those two characters. Everything else in it, the whole thing with Bruce Lee, it's just cringe. It's so cringe. So
I'm nodding my head. Yes.
Pac says it's a B. All right, so yep, go ahead.
So looking at this list now, I would if this was my list, I would move I would move Jackie Brown and Death Proof up a tier each, and I'd move Hateful Eight down, and that would be it.
Those are your changes. Okay. Yeah.
Those would be my adjustments to this. The rest of it I completely can live with. I think that it's good. Maybe
you'd have Inglourious on A.
I mean, again, I could go low S, high A on that, because honestly, looking at all these movies, and I've seen Reservoir Dogs a number of times, probably the most of all of these.
Yeah.
Inglourious Basterds is one of the most rewatchable.
It is. From the opening scene up to the end.
It like if I happen to catch like the beginning of that movie, that's it.
You're in for 2 hours plus.
Next 2.5 hours, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because it just that opening 20 minutes is just fantastic. I just read something about this the other day that I didn't know, is that he did not let the actors rehearse with each other.
Next up,
except for Christoph Waltz and the actor that was at the beginning, the other guy that was at the beginning. Those are the
farmer guy.
Those are the only two guys that rehearsed together.
Wow. I didn't know that.
I think that he or somebody else basically helped the other people rehearse, but they never rehearsed together their scenes.
Well, whatever he did, it worked. So on my rankings here, Jackie Brown on a C tier does feel a little low, but it's more of a C plus for me, / B minus. So moving that up, I could see that. I'm going to leave it where it is, but I think you make a good point. And the film has gotten better, and it was a victim of following Pulp Fiction. But on the S tier, Pulp Fiction is unassailable. You can't argue it. Inglourious Basterds, maybe ranked a little bit higher, but for me personally, I think it's S tier, S minus. Reservoir Dogs, put him on the map. Fantastic film, great script, tight film. It's one of the things he hasn't done a lot of, other than Kill Bill Volume 1. Kill Bill Volume 2, personal favorite. Some great scenes in it. Django Unchained, fantastic. But to rank these three together, this is the toughest level for me, because part of me would put Reservoir Dogs. I mean, I could interchange any of these three in any order, and it would be fair, and I could argue it, because I think they're all three damn good films. And if you like Django more than the other two, I would be like, yep, sure, I totally get it. So by putting Django as third on this list, it's such a they're all like basically A level, and I wouldn't even say A plus, A minus on any of these. They're all just kind of on the same level for me. And Kill Bill Volume 1, it's like A minus, just a tiny bit, but it's so close to those other films. And then, yeah, I mean, Death Proof being a D probably isn't fair because it is exactly what it is. It's not trying to be something different. Hateful Eight was trying to be something fantastic, and boy did it fail. It just failed a lot. But I'm still not going to put it as an F because there's a couple of good things in that film. And F is like absolute shit tier, and it's not quite shit tier for me. So, but it's definitely the worst of his films. And you know, now that I talk about it, let's go ahead and move up Death Proof to C minus. There, are you happy? Heavy hand swings. Are you happy now? I've got Death Proof off of that D tier.
Thank you.
Get it away from Hateful Eight.
Yeah, it should be away from Hateful Eight. You guys are right. It's
And
my personal opinion of it doesn't mean it isn't still an okay film.
but it's got a passing grade, and I feel like it deserves a passing grade.
Mm-hmm. Well, I passed a class with a D. that college credit transferred to my other school. I'm just gonna say. Okay.
Just don't say the teacher's name that you fucked, because you gave her the D.
Wow.
I'm happy that you moved
Wow.
Death Proof. I know you asked me and everybody else in the chat answered, but I think it's good.
Gave the D for a D.
It's fair. He was not an attractive man, and I took one for the team for that, to get that D to transfer. But the ranking on these three, I feel pretty good about. I think Jackie Brown's definitely the best of the three. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has higher highs. But Death Proof, yeah, is what it is. Hateful Eight, it's just not a very good film. Sorry, it's not. So that's my ranking of Quentin Tarantino's 10 films. He can say he has 9. Don't lie to me. There's 2. They split it into 2. I got tickets. Let's say Volume 1, and then like 7 months later, Volume 2. That's 2 movies, bro. Did y'all know that he wrote a book about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where he added a bunch of shit and like wrote a book and like released it here like a month ago?
And I have no desire.
Zero.
No desire.
Apparently, that's what Tarantino wants to do after he makes his
Is right.
10th film, is just write film literature. And I'm just like,
What is his
You
10th film going to be? Because I'd heard he was going to do something like
Star Trek.
a what?
I mean, he's had like a Star Trek film in development for several years. but
Yeah,
I'm-
I don't know if
never
that's
gonna
ever going to happen. I thought he was
I
going to
thought
try to
that- I
remake
thought that
Kelly's
was
Heroes.
Finally, officially dead. Actually,
Wasn't he going to do
Is it
something
dead?
around like a Kelly's Heroes type remake?
Clint Eastwood back in the starring role.
I could
Oh,
see him
God.
doing like a Kelly's Heroes type remake, but
God, Kelly's Heroes. There is an old time movie that if that movie was on a Friday night when I was a kid, my dad would let me stay up and watch it with him.
you know what I would really like to see? A Quentin Tarantino Marvel movie, because he's an admitted fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, like, look, it can't be. I think it would turn out better than we think it would.
I'm
My friend
making a
over here says
face.
I'm on my own.
I'm making a face.
All right, I'm on an island. Okay, that's cool. The sharks are nice.
There are a lot of other directors I would choose to do a Marvel film before him. I don't think it would suit him well. Depends on the character or the characters. I mean, he made a CSI episode or something. I mean, whatever. That's the list. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you those who were in the Discord and participated. Appreciate it. Hey, the guy's a hell of a director. He's something else. And Koiser just swoops in
Oh, hey, look at that.
But
with 10 gifted subs. And now we got Riz donating 104 bits. Riz, thank you so much for those bits. And Koiser, we're going to hear this sub notification for I might have to skip a few of these, all right? Oh my god. Suckstick just got a sub.
Hey, by the way,
You might need to change your really fucking annoying sub sound, huh?
Do you not have TTS?
Well, it's
Hey,
you did it after this, so it's going to come after.
Oh, on my screen it was before. Okay.
So-
Jer.
Yeah, I pressed skip alert, but it shouldn't have skipped. There you go. Yes, I'm listening, Angry. I'm just trying to deal
two
with
things
this.
for you.
Yeah.
So have you heard of a site called Letterboxd?
Yeah.
Letterboxd is a wonderful thing. Forget who, like, there are a lot of famous people who
Hey,
have
this was
Letterboxd
my
that are
story.
hilarious.
Hang on a second. I was talking.
I didn't realize you were telling a story. I thought you were just saying, "Have you heard of this place?"
Black Metal, you
Well, I had a
you don't
couple
know
things I
Sergeant.
wanted to talk about.
You don't know Sergeant Angry, so I'm just telling you. If he's talking, he's telling a story. So go ahead, tell your story.
Fuck. All right.
Just kidding.
Jesus.
Tell me about Letterboxd. I don't have an account, but I've seen people
Letterboxd is
screenshot
great,
stuff.
But sorry, so it's not really a story about Letterboxd, but I wanted to get two things out. A, have you heard about Letterboxd?
Yes.
B, I went and bought the I paid for the ticket to watch Green Knight next week.
You did. Okay.
So it was only $20.
Yeah. I might.
It's cheaper. That's cheaper than what I spend when I go to the theater.
I need to do a little more research, but I will probably. I'm gonna watch it, whether it's now or when it comes out on VOD, on like a regular VOD. I'm posting the link for you, Koiser. You asked for the sub alert. That link will take you to the song. It's Golden Girls themed song cover, Will It Metal. K. John Stewart is on YouTube, and he does metal covers of songs. So that's what that is.
I'm done now. All of you may proceed.
All right. No, Letterboxd is fine. I have never had the desire to sign up for an account.
Got him.
Woman breastfeeding, woman breastfeeding, woman
There's the
breastfeeding,
TTS, right?
woman breastfeeding, woman breastfeeding, woman breastfeeding,
Woman breastfeeding.
breastfeeding.
Woman breastfeeding. Woman breastfeeding. See, and by the way, Gart, shout out to Gart for finding that emoji. And I've tried other emojis in TTS and it won't read them. Like, there's one for a service dog and there's one for a man in a wheelchair. I'm like, this would be great. It won't read them. The TTS blocks it. But it'll say woman breastfeeding. What the fuck?
Woman breastfeeding.
No, on my activity feed, it showed Koiser before yours, Riz, so I knew yours was coming later. Thank you for the bits, though, and thank you, Koiser, for those 10 gifted subs.
Sure. That's essentially $4 for dollars.
Y'all are hitting me up, so I appreciate it. I will update the dollar amounts here real soon for the next stream, but we have guaranteed not only a bad movie night, but a raid stream of Super Meat Boy, so I guess I'm going to have to tee that up. Maybe next Friday we'll watch a movie together. Maybe it's an hour and a half, and it is an hour and a half that you either will enjoy the hell out of or you will never get back. It's one or the other. Thank y'all so much for the money and the support. It means a lot. It really does. So thank you. Hope y'all had a good time with Jackbox. I'm going to go buy that new one. Actually, the bundle that's got 4 in it. We'll do that right now. And fuck the points, says Heavy Hand Swings. And fuck Jackbox. You just keep highlighting. You just keep doing that. And I'm going to give them back to you. I will. I promise. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Take care.
Shit.